Let's first welcome the undefeated challenger, Malik Zinad.
There's so many great storylines surrounding this 30-year-old, perhaps none better than his love for boxing growing up. He used to emulate Roy Jones Jr. in the basement of his house in Tripoli, but back then, his boxing talent had to be a family secret because the sport was banned in Libya under Muammar Gaddafi, so his father, himself a former amateur fighter, would let his sons hit the pads in secret. Mike, it immediately made me think of how Katie Taylor kind of bucked the trend in Ireland growing up.
Yeah, and this is a massive opportunity for this man here, Malik Zinad. 5 years ago tonight, Andy Ruiz Jr. beat Anthony Joshua, and I was looking at the odds today. They're very, very similar.
Katie Taylor grew up in Ireland where women were not allowed to fight. She single-handedly got the sport unbanned, so to speak. Malik Zinad tonight trying to become the first boxer from Libya to become a world champion and the first Arab to hold a world title since the British Yemeni featherweight named Prince Nassim Habib.
What name that is. Do you know what? Malik Zinad, I've been impressed with what I've been hearing from him. He's very confident. He doesn't seem like he's been overawed. But this is a tough task side. He's in there with one of the best out there. He does a lot well, Zinad. But Bivol does it better. But we've seen funnier things happen in this sport. What a moment for this man. Life-changing moment.
Barry, I'm going to ask you a question, and I don't know if you're going to have the answer for me. How does he beat Dmitry Bivol?
Well, that's quite simple, Todd. Just don't get hit and hit him on the hit chip. No, it's going to be very, very difficult. You got to, with someone like Bivol, someone who's technically superb, but boxes at their own pace, you've got to try and make them rush their work. I don't know how you got to have tremendous power. That when they throw, you got to try and throw with them and land and have the heavier shots. I don't know if Zinad had any of that. He hasn't boxed at this level before, so we don't really know. He looked pretty good. He's long. Looks like he has power, but against what opposition? We're not quite sure, but we're going to find out. As long as he gives it his all and does his best, that's all he can do. And if you're good enough and you're ready, you'll put up a good show. And Bivol can coast at times, so remember that. We see it against Craig Richards. And you can steal rounds and make it difficult. But I find it very hard to find a route to victory for this young man here.
We heard Ben Davidson earlier say, listen, I've heard this guy has a lot of power, game-changing power. And if he can land a straight, big punch on Dmitry Bivol's chin, who knows what could happen. We've seen several upsets so far tonight. Why not the biggest one of them all?
Of course, but you've seen Canelo, Ramirez. There's just two fighters who carry a bit of power, and he hasn't had much problem with those.
Debbie Downer.
And now let's welcome to the ring the undefeated defending world champion, Dmitry Bivol.
Dmitry Bivol, of course, was supposed to square off against Artur Beterbiev in an undisputed battle, but Beterbiev suffered a ruptured meniscus in his knee. So now Bivol gets Zinad, and Bivol told us this week, you know, I was obviously very disappointed. I'm trying not to follow my emotions. I'm going to just try and be a machine tonight, and that's what I'm going to do.
And that's what he is. That's what makes him so hard to beat, because he is a machine. Emotions don't really play a factor in his style. But you've got to think motivation. You might physically do the work in the gym, but mentally you can't be there. When you've got the biggest fight of your career, and then that falls flat, and you have a replacement of somebody you don't know.
I have a question for you, Darren. I don't disagree with you much, but the other night I heard you say maybe Bivol's just going to try and get some round under his belt, getting ready for Beterbiev. How many more rounds does this guy need? 9 straight decision wins. This guy should be a killer in the light heavyweight division.
I want to to see the opposite. I want to see him go through the gears because I know he has it in abundance. That's why I get frustrated sometimes, but he is a master. You know, he's such a good technical boxer, but I know there's a little bit more to come, which is very, very exciting if you're a fan of Bivol.
Started his career with 11 knockouts in his first 13 fights. Thomas Schreiber with the announcements.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for both the WBA and IBO light heavyweight championships of the world. Brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions and Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, in conjunction with Riyadh Season, National Event Center, the General Entertainment Authority, GIA, Gold Star Promotions, Sella, and World of Boxing. It is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, Steward in Charge Robin Smith, along with the World Boxing Association. President Gilberto Mendoza Jr., Supervisor Jesper Jensen, and the International Boxing Organization. President Ed Levine, Supervisor Ron Borges. Timekeeper is John Bruce. Our 3 judges assigned will be Paweł Cardini of Poland, John Latham of England, and Patrick Morley of the United States. Our referee in charge will be Howard Foster of England. Introducing to you first, the challenger, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He comes to the ring wearing white with black and weighed in officially at 174.2 pounds. A native of Libya, he is now fighting out of Pieta, Malta, and brings an undefeated record with 22 wins, 16 of his 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Malik Zinad. And his opponent across the ring, he is a defending world champion, fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He comes to the ring wearing silver with black and weighed in officially at 175 pounds. Hailing from St. Petersburg, Russia, by way of Kyrgyzstan, he is undefeated with 22 wins, 11 of his 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the reigning and defending WBA and IBO light heavyweight champion of the world, Dmitrii Bivol.
Okay guys, spoke to you both in the dressing room. You both know I expect. Keep it clean, break straight away when told. Both of you watch your heads in close. Good luck to you both. Touch gloves. Touch gloves.
Dmitry Bivol, a 30-1 favorite. But will Riyadh become his Tokyo, Japan? And will Zinad become Buster Douglas? Probably not. But there's always a chance. Zinad, with all of Libya behind him, trying to do the impossible, beat the machine. 12 rounds for the WBA Super Light Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, good boxer is Zinad. We know a lot about Bivol, but Zinad, he does the basics very well. You can see already trying to establish his jab. He throws a nice one too. It's not really offensively that I'm worried about, it's defensively. He does get caught, he does pull out with his chin up in the air at times, and against Bivol you can't afford to do that, but this is a good start, a positive start from Zinad.
He doesn't look intimidated. But Bivol just doesn't make mistakes.
No, he's massively economical, isn't he, Bivol? When he throws, it's because he's seen a gap in the tag. He doesn't throw blindly.
No emotion either from Bivol. He just fights like a robot. He's got robot-looking trunks on, too. That's what's made him so good. One of the pound-for-pound kings in boxing.
Yeah, he controls his emotions at all times, doesn't he? Never gets carried away with anything, and that's been the criticism as well. Let's be honest about fights. You know, you said all those fights have been the distance recently, where he could have maybe got the stoppage at times, and he's not willing to commit. Well, good shot there by Zinad.
This is a really good start. Good opening minute and a half for Zinad.
Zinad coming off a fantastic win on the road against Jerome Pempalone, beating the favorite New Zealander in New Zealand. Oh, left hand from Bivol. Zinad answers back.
When you saw, I'm not a fan of people throw the jab from their waist, but they're really hard to read, those jabs. They just come back low, that's the problem. There's a gap to hit. But they are hard to read, and when you're long like Zinad, you can get away with it.
If he's able to nullify the jab of Bivol with his own jab, this gets very interesting.
Well, I said earlier that Zinad used to emulate Roy Jones Jr. in his basement. Oh, Bivol!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Too brave, too audacious for his own good so early in the contest with such a sharp shooter.
I would say though, he was dropped, but he was square-footed, so I'm not sure how much he was really hurt there. He was throwing his own punches, and he just brought that back foot forward a little bit. But the three-punch combination there from Bivol, now, well, 1-2 in the end, but brilliant.
Now he's walking Zinad onto the shots now. He's just taken half a step back, Bivol, and he's met Zinad with straight 1-2s. He's finished with the left hook.
Well, other than the knockdown, that was a pretty good round for Zinad.
Just work and be patient for your return. Them little single shots, but I want you safe after. Manny, you don't need to have a war with him. Okay? A lead hand's enough. A lead hand's doing very well. Right? He's going to try and change gear, but you've got to watch out for that. The back step and cut.
I mean, he was boxing nicely, Zinad, and he just got sloppy. He came tall, his hands were low, he was square on, as you said, Barry, and he paid the price.
But look at Bivol, just bouncing in. He's been bouncing in, getting his range, Look at that, just a tiny little mistake. Just brought the right hand a little bit slow, come back a little bit slow, a bit low, squared the feet up, and Bivol just bounces on him.
2. Landed his shot, stood and looked at it. At a lower level, you get away with that.
And you said it, I believe, Darren, that you weren't worried about offensively what Zinad would do. It'd be defensively, and he got caught looking.
Exactly that. Can't admire you work.
But I like the energy from Bivol. We don't see him start hot like this, do we?
You don't see him getting caught with as many jabs either. Maybe that's what kicked him into gear.
We don't see him. He's only fought twice since he beat Canelo.
Which is, don't you think about it, is madness, isn't it?
Boy, too bad Eddie Hearn doesn't have Bivol for the matchroom score.
He was penned over the roof, just no asking. Anytime we get Bivol on that team.
Late sub.
He's using his feet here well, Bivol, really well, gliding in and out of range, trying to avoid the jab. I'd like to see him slip on the outside of the jab, fire over with the right hand.
I love it when he goes low with the jab and he feints to go low again, and he whips that left hook over the top, but he keeps his body low.
Oh, good left there from Bivol.
His judgment of the distance. It took him about 2.5 minutes to get it, but his judgment of the distance is absolutely fantastic.
From the right angle, a certain angle, Zinad looks a little bit like David Benavidez. Yeah. That's a fight a lot of people want to see, Benavidez versus Bivol.
Well, he's up at their wing now, isn't he? So that's a fantastic fight to make.
Foot fight happening in the front.
I think he's got to try and time the right hand over that jab of Zinad Bivol. On the flip side, Zinad needs to be careful. That left hand very low. Every single time he throws the jab, it comes back to his below his chest.
He wants him to throw the right hand, doesn't he, Bivol? Bouncing in and out, the jab's blocking him down. He wants him to do that so he can pounce on him. Good jab with the chest there as well from Bivol.
Again, the footwork. You can see the lots of weight on the back foot of Bivol, but he's always able to spring in and out so quickly.
Bivol getting touched a lot more than I think he thought he would. In his last fight, Zinad had 186 landed jabs, the 5th most ever recorded in light heavyweight by CompuBox.
You can see why it's a whipping of a weapon, isn't it? When he flicks it into the target.
You shoot down as well. You shoot down as well. Watch him after he works. You can't sit and watch him. How you feel? Better round, a lot better round. Let me talk, right? Let me talk. Listen, you can't watch him. You can't watch him, okay? You have to be active, fake, jab and fake, catch, shoot. All right? Don't stand there and look at him. Do you understand? That's a much better round. The composure was good. Keep your composure. Stay switched on. All right? It's all it is. But listen. We don't make the mistake again. Stop talking. We don't make the mistake again. We don't make that mistake again. Cautious there. If you're going to catch and shoot. All right? Don't be careless. Use your feet. Use your feet.
Seconds out. Round 3.
Zinad's corner telling him to stop talking and listen.
Trying to feint the start of this third round. I think he's trying to draw out the lead of Bivol. Bivol's never going to take that bait.
That wasn't a bad round there for Zinad, I think.
Certainly better than the first. Bivol with a high guard, defense. None of his punches landing. Boy, it's just so hard to out-jab the best jabber perhaps in the world.
I mean, he's found the range with his jabs, but they're all taken on the gloves of Bivol. Again, see there, just falling short slightly, just hitting the gloves of Bivol. When Bivol throws it, 9 times out of 10 he's landing with the jab.
Coming into this fight, Bivol had outlanded his opponents. Listen to this. In 95 of the last 100 rounds he's fought.
Again, not doing much here, just trying to force Zinad to make a mistake. It's good feet up from Zinad there, just creating a bit of space. Bivol trying to come forward.
Trying to bark at Bivol. I don't think Bivol's going to listen to that.
Solid jab there from Bivol.
I did this in his last fight in Australia, talking to his opponent. And to the corner, actually.
Right cross didn't miss by much. Zinad's had moments of success for sure.
And you can watch on to that one, Bivol. Just grazed the target on the side of the head.
That's the better idea. He didn't hit the target there, Bivol, but that dipping down so on that left hook's a good idea.
Bivol just so good defensively. Those hands just pop back into this defensive posture after he throws a punch. There's a left hook. Bivol being more aggressive, I think, than we've seen him.
It doesn't look like it, but this is so demoralizing. It's so draining mentally and physically when your opponent's in front of you all the time. That little jerky motion that he does. You're always worried about the shots that are going to come out. But it wasn't a bad response from Zinad.
Much better round. How'd you feel? How's your nose feel? You breathing all right? Yeah? You breathing all right? Listen, let me talk. Everyone, let me talk.
There's Daniel Dubois. He can seal the deal for Queensberry. And Frank Warren knows, hey, I got $3 million riding on you. You win this fight, I'll take you out for a nice steak dinner and more.
It's a big, big moment, this, in the career of Daniel Dubois, and also his opponent, Filip Hrgovic. Huge carrot dangled, the potential fight with Anthony Joshua in September. It doesn't get much bigger than that.
But it's coming at the right time. I think he's full of confidence right after that last performance, where he carried the power late, he carried the energy late, he got through a little bit of a tired spell and pushed through it for the first time in his career. This is the right fight for him at the right time.
And hey, I think you said it yesterday, Darren. Daniel Dubois used some cuss words this week, and he doesn't use bad words, does he? He's that amped up to fight Hrgovic.
He's fired up for sure. Brilliant fight up next.
This is a pretty good one too, to be honest. Bivol with a first-round knockdown, but Zinad has been competitive other than that.
But he's using what he's got. He's using his attributes, that long jab, and he's flicking it out constantly, making Bivol just take a step back and regroup. And even if he's not hitting the tag, even if Bivol is catching on the gloves, it's still stopping Bivol from being active.
Total punches landed through round 3. Bivol's outlanded him by 14 punches. Zinad has thrown double, basically, the amount.
Zinad needs to do more of this to frustrate Bivol, and I think the left hook that you spoke about, the dip of the knees and fire through, is the shot against Zinad. You see he's got a loose, I know we talked about the lead left hand, but a loose right hand as well. Is quite lazy where he positions the shot, so he is open to a left hook.
Just got a right hand there from Bivol.
Corner of Zinad literally just screaming at him.
It might be cold for something.
Maybe.
A double jab.
It's a lot of effort. Defensively, look at Bivol.
Again, what Darren said, just that pressure, that constantly figuring right in front of you, that foot and center of your stance is a tiring thing.
Barry, who did you have favored in the Beterbiev fight against Bivol had it taken place?
Bivol. Not by much, though, to be honest, not by much. Because Beterbiev has better feet than people give him credit for. He's not just a puncher.
That fight hopefully coming later this year as Beterbiev recovers from a ruptured meniscus in his knee.
I can understand why they're getting excited in the Zinad corner. You know, a lot of these jabs are landing, majority of them are landing on the gloves of Bivol, but still he stopped the work, any work of Bivol in this round.
That's good work, though. Again, I think Bivol was going to get a little bit lower here.
What is Zinad doing? Headbutting Bivol. Get him out of there as we continue another fantastic night of fights here from the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Every fight so far tonight has been fantastic.
And I'll tell you what, son, this one just got a little interesting. At the end of that round, that just shows you how fired up Malik Zinad is.
And I don't think that's a bad, he should do it, of course. I wouldn't encourage any young athlete to do it.
Here it is.
Just to try and frustrate Bivol a little bit. Try and get him angry. That's not a bad thing, trying to get in his head. Maybe Bivol makes a mistake now, comes out too fast, too hard. Or maybe he comes out extra focused.
There's some emotion from the machine, right?
Corner 10 seconds.
I think you're right, Barry. Why not? Make the ref pull you off of it.
Second judge, round 5.
And now you see Bivol bouncing her a little bit. Are they still going head-to-head? I like it. This is the opportunity of a lifetime for Zinad. He says no one would fight him. He had to beg for fights, take hardly any money, travel to his opponents' hometowns, and have to work against, you know, the biased judges, and he still somehow remained undefeated. 22-0 with 16 KOs.
And Eddie Hearn was telling us in the week he's been sliding into his Instagram DMs for a long, long time, begging for a fight, begging for an opportunity. And this is his moment.
He's only had 22 fights, and this is the 10th different country he's fought in. There's a man who's prepared to travel to make a living and to make a name.
And he's boxing well. You know.
Oh, there's the best punch of the fight for Zinad.
He needs to start separating with his own 1-2, I feel, Bivol. Letting that right hand go. Look, I mean, look, mentioned it numerous times, the left hand of Zinad so low.
Good right hand again there from Zinad.
When he holds his feet, Zinad, that's when Bivol's got to let the shots go. He comes tall, lots of openings.
Double jab from Bivol. He's used it a few times in this round.
Someone yelled he's tired, and Zinad started talking back to him, which is not smart when you're in there with perhaps the best fighter in the world.
I think Zinad's having a really good round.
Again, a lot of pressure from Bivol. It was a nice jab as well, good variation with the jab to the body. Unfazed, not bothered at all, Zinad.
Mike, is Zinad doing better than you thought he would?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think this is, for him, whatever happens from here on, this has been, for him, a very impressive performance, coming in at such late notice. So 5 weeks after a fight that was so hard, the Aussies are saying it's one of their fights of the year.
He's waving Bivol up. No, good right hand though from Bivol.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for.
But I think you're right, Mike. Whatever happens now, he's sold himself a bit, hasn't he? You know, to get more work, more opportunities.
Well, he doesn't look like a 30-to-1 underdog.
Even here, there, like, he's under pressure, but he's still looking to fire back. You know, enough intelligence to get out of the corner.
Plenty of action coming your way, and when you talk about action, no one brings you more action than the non-stop puncher of William Zepeda, who defends his perfect 30-0 record against Giovanni Cabrera. That's live July 6th on DAZN. From guys that throw so many punches to guys that only need to land one punch. 2 exciting heavyweights. The Romford Bull, Johnny Fisher, and the Savage, Alan Babich, live from London's Copper Box Arena. A double bill, July the 6th.
Yeah, again, Zinad frustrating the pound-for-pound fighter in Bivol. Moving, sticking out the jab.
Corner,
nice jab though from Bivol, but
seconds.
a lot of talking, a lot of verbal activity
Seconds
from Zinad.
out.
He really fancies this
Round
job.
6.
He got caught mid-sentence there.
He did, yeah.
And that slow motion shot, I don't know if you saw it from Bivol's jab. You could see it was just like a flick until right at the very end when it stiffens up as it hits his face, almost like a whip.
That's the only time you should clench, when you throw in your shot, when you land. Just before you land, that's when you clench the fist.
Well, what that is you turn the shot over, so you punch with the body, it's nice and smooth, and at the end you turn the hand over, and that gives you that impact, that little torque.
Good counter right hand from Zinad as we check in with Chris Mannix and his scorecard.
Yeah, Todd, I got a 4 rounds to 1, 49-45 for Dmitry Bivol. I gave Zinad that 4th round, but so far I've got Bivol largely in control. I got to ask, guys, what has happened to the power of Dmitry Bivol? He scored 11 knockouts in his first 13 fights. He's gone to a decision in his last 9. You guys know how much I used to love Demetrius Andrade, but Demetrius used to refuse to step on the gas when he had opportunities. Bivol, to me, is becoming a light heavyweight Demetrius Andrade. So 49-45, but not all that impressed with what I'm seeing from Dmitry Bivol.
Well, just like to see Bivol just go through the gears. He has it. I've said this time and time again. It's there. We see it in shades against Canelo where he let his hands go. We see it against Lyndon Arthur, but he takes the step back just to stop any traffic coming his way. He's so switched on, he's so smart, but sometimes that goes against him and makes him less exciting.
Oh, there's some power. Mannix asked for it, and Bivol delivers.
But now he needs to maintain that now. Don't wait too long for the next assault here. And the thing is with Bivol, what Chris is saying, he's not asking for something he can't do.
Oh, right hand, and that buckles his legs, and this may be the knockout that Bivol hasn't gotten in 6 years. 2018 was the last time he finished a fighter, and he's ready to go. Corner, and they'll stop it. Dmitry Bivol.
Well, that's how you close the show. That's how you get the job done. We were asking for it, and he delivered. What a barrage of shots that was from Dmitry Bivol. Superb finish.
Again, with him, a lackluster performance, let's be honest. A lackluster performance up until the point that he sees the opportunity. He won't take a risk, Bivol, but when he sees the chance to go for it, he's accurate, powerful, and he has a good engine. That was a really good finish there from Bivol, and he needed that, I think. He needed that just to show I'm still where I am, and I'm ready for better BF.
Mike, what did we learn from Dmitry Bivol tonight in that performance?
Well, what I think is key for Dmitry Bivol is to get activity. As I said, 2 fights since he beat Canelo, and that was important for him tonight, and that was a very, very impressive finish.
Hey, credit to Zinad, who brought out the best in Dmitry Bivol tonight. He challenged him.
Yeah, even that long jab, and also a bit of tenacity in his work. He made it awkward for Bivol at times. And Bivol doesn't like to take shots, so we had to keep resetting all the time, resetting. But when he saw the gap, he saw it, he went for it, and we know how accurate he is, how spiteful he can be at his best. And that was a fantastic finish we're going to see here now.
And that's what we were talking about. It's there. We know he can do it. He just waited too long in that contest. Though the finish was very good, the performance probably wasn't. But there's too many gaps. We said this from Zinad. Too much playing around at times. And the right hand over the top, you can see the legs straight away. They buckled, they stiffened. And the barrage that come, they were raining in from all different angles. The step back was very impressive.
Look at the accuracy, Darren, there.
Does not miss.
With a shot.
Does not miss.
And it all started when you were saying, the left hook, get the left hook in. Dip the legs, get the left hook in. And then everything from there followed. And fatigue played a part there as well. Because even though he wasn't doing loads of work in the round, Bivol, he was making Zinad work hard. The pressure with the feet.
And we got to give him credit. You mentioned one of his other fights against Arthur. He had him in trouble, and then he take a step back to stay out of trouble. This time, he went all in.
No, that was aggressive. That was a no-nonsense finish there. He was wound up. I think he was annoyed and frustrated at times by Zinad. And he let it all out on him there.
And it was nice to see a bit of emotion from Bivol. And I think it was that headbutt. I think it stuck in his mind. And he seen the opportunity, and he took a bigger risk than he normally would.
I'd like to hear Chris ask him about that headbutt if it got into his head, as Dmitry Bivol seemed like a lion that was woken up from its slumber.
Chris would be asking for a retainer.
Oh, look at that, the damage that uppercut done. By the way, Howard Foster done exactly the right thing there. That was the right time to stop this contest and save Malik Zinad. And there's that emotion, Barry.
Do you know what? Honestly, though, the criticism he would have got if that would have went the 12-round distance would have been immense. So he needed that finish. You forget about all the other rounds then. All you remember is that barrage of punches.
And Mike, I wonder what Artur Beterbiev is thinking right now after seeing that performance.
Well, I was just going to say, regarding Beterbiev, that's another valuable outing for Bivol at the end of a camp. And I think that improves his chances when Beterbiev comes around. Forgetting the quality of the opposition.
Well, the PFL Europe Season 2 returns June 8th as we head to Newcastle for the next round of action from the Octagon, including the debut of former unified boxing champion Savannah Marshall. That should be very interesting a week from tonight from England. Thomas Schreiber in the ring to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 2 minutes, 6 seconds of round number 6. Our referee, Howard Foster, steps in to stop the contest. Therefore, your winner by way of technical knockout and still WBA and IBO light heavyweight champion of the world, Dmitrii Bivol.
We've been waiting to see that side of Dmitrii Bivol, the side of him that demolished 11 of his first 13 opponents, but had gone 9 straight without a KO, dating back to Sullivan Barrera in March of